Yo guys, what's going on? It's Kitty G on EGTV, and we're back again with another video on EGTV. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the Arsenal versus Burnley game. Obviously, ArtetaOut is ringing out throughout the Arsenal fan base. A lot of people are yelling ArtetaOut. A lot of people are saying this is the worst January in Arsenal's history because we haven't won a game. January is over for Arsenal. We've had 2 draws and we've had 3 losses. We're out of the cups. We're out of the Carabao Cup and we're out of the FA Cup in one sweeping week. We've lost to Liverpool. We've lost to Man City. We've lost to Nottingham Forest, and now we've drawn against Burnley. So it's just things getting worse and worse and worse. But you know what? In my opinion, guys, let me tell you something. We're going to break everything down. We're going to talk about Arteta. We're going to talk about the players, whose fault it is, what's really happening. What do we need? We need to sign some players. We need a striker. We need a midfielder. Who are we going to possibly try to get? What we're going to try to do and everything else. We're going to break that down right now. But before we get any further, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get the panel together. My opinions, I'm gonna give you those in a second. I'm going to add Jasmine, my Melina, and Denz. If you guys don't already know, Melina is going to be co-hosting this with me on a regular basis, hopefully going forward. So that's great. And you already know what it is, guys. We got Denz and we got my guy Jasmine. So yeah, let's get started by saying how's everybody doing, and then we're gonna go quick match reactions, and then I'll go after everybody's done. So Melina, if you want to go first, let us know how you're feeling and just a quick match reaction on the game. What do you think?
I'm not bad myself. Hope you're well, Igel. And shout out to everyone in the chat. If you haven't already, do make sure to like the video, share the video. It does help get the channel noticed even more, and subscribe if you haven't already. In terms of this game overall, I'm gonna be honest, it's absolutely embarrassing. It's been a horrendous month for us, and I think one of the worst Januaries by far in a while. Knocked out of the Carabao Cup, knocked out of the FA Cup, and now 5 games without a win is very concerning and embarrassing. And yes, right now, because Chelsea won against Spurs, we're 2 points off of top 4, so it's not as bad as people make it, but it still needs to be analyzed. And, 23 days into the transfer window with absolutely no confirmed incoming signings is inexcusable from the board and Edu. And in terms of today's game, it was just not good enough. We didn't have a clear midfield. We played without no experienced midfielders. We put Laconga in there because of our 2 midfielders suspended, loaning out 2 midfielders and selling one with no replacements in place is poor man management. And, the only players who really tried today were Smith Rowe and Tierney. I think Gabriel today also wasn't at his best. Neither was Saka, in all honesty. And overall, we were very poor in the final third. We couldn't even break down a team like Burnley, who are bottom of the Premier League. Is very embarrassing. Anyway, I'll take the 17-day break. We go again to Wolves away, and hope for the best at this point.
I think this game is such a terrible result that it leaves us questioning so many different things. But before I get to all the questions and all the answers, Jasmine, how you doing all the way from Toronto? How you feeling?
Doing good, bro. Of course, except for the Arsenal, because where do I even begin? I think the very first thing I'm gonna say is the finishing was extremely poor today. If you look at Lacazette's open goal, I think like how do someone even miss that? I think that is the same as Eddie and Kerry are missing an open goal. You remember against Everton? I think this was on par with that. Like literally, like he had open goal to aim at. How do we even miss that? That was one. And I think Saka, even though he has slightly improved his finishing this season, but I think he should have finished that chance he had. And also Odegaard in the first half, I think Odegaard has a really good chance, and I think he should be finishing that as well. So I think the first thing is I'm going to say finishing was extremely poor in this game. And secondly, the game plan. Like, why are we crossing 31 times in the entire game when we know the Burnley center backs are like, 10 feet tall or whatever, right? We're not going to win any headers against them. We have Lacazette in the number 9. He's not going to win any header against any of the Burnley back line. So what's the point of that game plan? I never got that point. And one last thing is substitution of Eddie and Ketia. Bring him, that's fine, but why are you taking Emil Smith Rowe off? Because like 5 minutes ago, he made a brilliant run and set up Lacazette. So why are you taking him off? Like you could have taken somebody else off, right? I did not get that. And one last thing regarding substitutes is that On right back, Ben White was playing. For the last 20 or 30 minutes, he could have brought in Nuno Tavares. He could have overlapped because he's a bit more aggressive in comparison to Ben White. So I think these are the few changes he could have made. But the players were like a shambles this game, man. Like the finishing was extremely poor. So yeah, that's my take.
There you go. Guys, in the comment section, I am going to be asking a question throughout the whole entire stream. Is top four gone? That is the question that we're going to be asking. So I will be putting that in the comment section. Welcome, my guy, Karan.
Hello.
Just before you go, we're going to let Dens go, and then we can get your take on the game also. Dens, what do you think about the game, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think this pretty much just wraps up a bad month, like we were just saying off air. We can't win a game now in January. That's a whole month without a win. Like, for me, that just speaks volumes for Arsenal Football Club. Like, we started off well against Man City, although we took the loss. It was a good game. Today was abysmal. I'm not going to say anything good about today. There was some highlights, like Jasmeet spoke on, with Smith Rowe looked good, and like we've said, yeah. And Mel said as well, like there were certain people there that we could rely on, but I think it just showed how young our squad is. Like, and the fact that I looked at the bench and I thought, if this game doesn't go well, what are we going to do? We have to bring on Eddie, or we bring on someone that hasn't got any experience. It's just shambolic. And I know we're going to get into the Arteta thing, but I'm seeing so many comments and people are completely throwing Arteta under the bus. No, the board for me. The board. That is nothing to do with Arteta. That is the board. The players are knackered. They only played on Thursday and they got completely defeated. They're probably still underwhelmed by that. You know, that game's probably knocked them down. And then they're going against Burnley. We know what Burnley do. They park a bus station, and that's what they did the entire game. And I agree with Justmeet completely. We rely too much on that left side, that left flank, and that out on the wide left, crossing in. Burnley are like 6'3". Every single one of their players nearly, and then we're trying to get Saka and Martinelli and players like that beating them to headers. It's not going to happen. Yeah, we need a striker. We need a centre midfielder. I'm just a bit annoyed, to be honest. But yeah, it was a poor performance. For me, if that was any other team, we lose. But because it was Burnley, that's the only reason we didn't lose that game, because all they do is park the bus and they've got nothing going forward.
Karan, just before you get started, just going to read some comments. No goals in 2022. Kelly, come on. Let's be a little bit honest. We have scored a goal, have we not, against Man City?
Man City.
There you go. Yes. Arsenal slap, back to reality. I know you're making the jokes because of me. It's okay. Top four never been real goal. Okay. Top four is gone, mate, says Brandon. The players have taken a huge blame today. Okay, I hear you. I definitely do hear you. We have a couple more shots being taken at Arteta. People saying Arteta out all day. No, top four ain't gone. Spurs drop points today. A lot of things are going on. Azan saying big up the panel, big up Egal, big up the chat box, big up Azan. We also got Semantic saying Arteta tax, embrace it. Favoritism, no rotations without injuries. Interesting. Go ahead, Karan. What do you think? Because I message you directly because I know you're one of the guys who, when I'm feeling down, I have to message Karan and be like, Yo, bro,
yeah.
What are we gonna do, bro? And he just always tells me, you know what? Calm down.
I do say calm down for good reason. I mean, I feel like people have forgotten what being in a top four race is like. I feel like people have forgotten that a top four race, it doesn't just go, oh, okay, we're going to go up, and everything just goes perfectly. And we're all rosy skies, and we win the games that we're meant to win, and then we lose the games that we're meant to lose, and everything just is perfect and idyllic, and everything is lovely. That's just not how things work. It's not how life works. In life, you have ups and you have downs. Yeah, today was a real down. I was shouting at my TV. I was pissed. I was pissed with Mikel. Oh, and this is for me. People always come at me that I'm like some sort of my whole thing is I'm with Mikel till I die. No. I am very much I can be pissed with Mikel just as much as anyone else. And I've multiple times, like for the past, when he's not brought in Ainsley, for example, he's not brought in other things. But the point is if you look at the games remaining, if you look at the lineups of games that other teams in this top four race have, you look at Manchester United to play Atletico Madrid back to back with Liverpool away in the middle. You look at teams like Tottenham that have to play West Ham, they have to play, I think they have to play Man City. They have to play a lot of teams. A lot of points are still on the board. But if we're talking about today, today was not good enough. But what I will also say is, I want to differentiate between the board and Mikel and the rest of the. Because the thing is, there's two different types. There's the board in terms of Edu and Richard Garlick and Tim Lewis and the actual negotiation and transfer team that goes on with it, and the board as in like Vinay Venkatesham and the actual commercial side of things. So we talk about the actual footballing side of things. We have, I would say, there have been issues because it's the January transfer window and it's hard to get players in. It's not an excuse. But if you look at any other big clubs, Spurs haven't signed Adama Traore either. United have done no business. It's very, very difficult this window, and we're trying to go out a tier of players like Dusan Vlahovic. That is someone who's going to be very, very hard to get into the door at this point in time. So I'm not going to say everything is bad. I'm not going to say everything is good. I'm going to say, look, it's 1 week, is 3 points. We have played 2 games of Premier League football this month, and it's been bad. Cool. It happens. Like, Man United lost to Wolves. No one said they were out of the top 4 race. They lost to Watford. They were not out of the top 4 race. Spurs drew at Southampton. No one said they were out of the top 4 race. Just keep that same energy for us, okay? We are 2 points outside the top 4. We have played 1 less game than Man United. The only team that have played less games in this race is Spurs. And that's fine. I understand that people are nervous. Be nervous. I'm not nervous. I haven't been nervous when we were on 0 points and I came in after Man City and said we were going to finish top 4. I have the same energy. It's fine. Just let it be. Because this is not the first top 4 race that we've had.
There you go. So yeah, we're just before we move on, I'm just going to give you guys my take. I don't think my take is too different from everybody else's. I feel like top 4 is not gone yet. I feel like we still have a chance to get top 4. I feel like today Bukayo Saka was poor. I feel like today even Ramsdale was poor at times. I feel like today Lacazette was extremely poor.
Two bad games for Ramsdale now as well. I'm getting a little bit worried about him. Like he looked very. I was behind him at Liverpool, and he looked dodgy against Liverpool as well. Like every move.
I'm not worried about Ramsdale overall. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the fact that today was not his best game. Now moving on from that, there was a lot of bad performances. Good performance with Odegaard. What is that? Good performances. Odegaard. I felt Odegaard was really good. I felt on the ball he was really good, and he helped us out a lot. In the final third, guys like Martinelli was active. Very active, and he did everything he could. Kieran Tierney once again putting in a performance, but there was mixed performances. Lokonga, I felt like, was hot and cold. So we're going to get into the player ratings, but overall, I think the team just lacked the cutting edge. And if we had a better striker, if Lacazette was in his pump at Lyon, he finishes some of those chances. At least he puts them on target. And if all we could ask is put your chances on target, give us a chance to win the game. But yeah, Saka could have done a lot better, but I'm not going to blame him. I think Pepe comes back, definitely going to give Saka a break and let him rest. But yeah.
Well, we have 3 weeks of break now.
The players are going to Dubai. So
the players are going to Dubai. There'll be a fitness break. Everyone will come back, and we'll get into it. Sorry.
Someone said send them to Andorra. Forget about Dubai. Let them go cold. But yeah, I think Andorra is nice anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna ask everybody the question that everybody's been talking about: is top 4 gone? What do you guys think? It just first of all, yes, no, from everybody, and then we're gonna get into it from there. Melina's gonna go first. But everyone, what do you guys think? Yes, no. Everyone here is an unanimous yes. Top 4 still open, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, just very, very quickly, I think it's a silly thing to say that it's gone because, like Karan touched on, Tottenham are the only real team that we're worrying about at the moment because of the games that they have in hand. And personally, for me, the fact that they're not in the Conference League anymore works in their favour because they can get them games out there. They've only got 1 game a week besides the FA Cup. But yeah, it's very much still on. I don't think we're any less fortunate than what any other team in the race is.
Okay. Karina? I mean, why did I say Karina? Melina, go ahead.
I don't think it's I don't think it's over yet. I think with Spurs losing today and Chelsea, kind of helping us with that, I don't really think it's doomsday for us just yet. But the one thing I will say is if we don't sign an experienced midfielder and or a striker this January window, then I'm going to be a bit more concerned. Or if we don't start playing Martinelli as a striker or bring back Aubameyang in that role, some other alternative, then I'd be concerned. But as of now, I think it's a bit too reactionary to say that top four is out of the window. We all know how top four works. We've been in and out of it previously, not the last 2 seasons, but before that. And anything can happen, especially with other teams. It's sad that we're relying on other teams at this point to drop points for us to kind of pick up our slack. But again, we need 2 quality midfielders. Give me one on loan at the minimum and give me a complete striker this window. Then we'll see what happens.
There you go. And just talking about that, Husam says, why is your club useless? When Arsenal wins, when you want Arsenal to win, for fuck's sake. Oh man. Now we're gonna have to listen to United for 2 weeks.
But if you went easy on us on Thursday, we would have been so shit, would we, Hassan? Chill.
Anyways, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Everybody here probably seen it. Newcastle fan who is at the bottom of the table was hoping for Arsenal to win today against Burnley. So he put out a tweet saying he said for 90 minutes I was supporting Arsenal, and it was the most frustrating thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm a Newcastle fan. Imagine that. This is what happened when Arsenal draw again at home against Burnley. We're a team that hasn't won a game in their last. Have they won a game in 4 months?
Yeah, Burnley have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won, and Cornet scored.
They won only one game. Only one.
I think I remember because Cornet was had an amazing game.
Their last win was in November. Just to put it in perspective. So obviously they weren't going to win the game,
and they didn't even have Cornet. They didn't even have one of them,
and they didn't have Chris Wood. Okay,
Bar the one chance. Were you at the game, Corinne, today?
I was not at the game today. No.
Bar the one chance that Ramsdale did an awkward save against
McNeil.
Did they really do anything?
No, they didn't.
It was a typical Burnley performance. They just sat behind they put the bus station behind the ball, and
I mean they had that corner. That one corner that they fluffed their lines on, they pulled it back and tried to hit it over. It'll be an interesting rewatch. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to have to rewatch. So what we're going to see now
is, Karen, you've already said top four is not gone.
No. I'm the absolute opposite. We are still top four favorites. It's not even close.
Top four is not going nowhere. We're still
nowhere near.
Jasmine, top four is gone.
No, top four is still on, of course, because we still have 17 games left, and if we get 35 points, and I think we can reach 70 points, so I think we should be good enough. But if you ask me for my prediction, I still think United or Spurs, at least one of those two, will finish ahead of us. But yeah, it's still on, of course. It depends on how well we perform.
Yeah. Shout out to Husam, guys. Go follow, go check out Husam's channel.
Yeah.
This is football. He said, I want Burnley relegated as well. Thank you, Arsenal. Yeah,
they still will be. Relax.
They still might be relegated. They have 5 games in hand anyway, so it's going to be a mess for them to play those games. Remember last time they had to play 2 times a week. They almost got relegated. so hopefully it happens this time. I'm just going to keep it moving from that. Guys, there's a lot of talking points in this game, so I want to talk about the referees. I want to get on to the referees before we talk about Lacazette and the frustrations around that. Did you guys see the situation with Tierney? And what did you think about this situation here? I want to get everyone's opinion on it. 1 second. Let me just see which camera is better. This is probably the better camera. So what do we think, guys? I'm going to go with you, Corinne, first. What do you think? Did you think this was a red card situation for Westwood? Should he have been given a red card in this incident?
I mean, the thing is with Westwood, it was a definite yellow. The question is it as in objectively a clear red? And I wouldn't have been mad if it was a red if I was a Burnley fan, but I wouldn't have been, happy with it. I do think the second incident is more telling. I think the second incident should seal it. For just a straight red, I'm sort of like, maybe. If it's straight, then fine. But it's more the second challenge for me. The second challenge is where it's like, come on, what are you doing? But
that is the people's elbow that he gave to Gabriel.
The people's elbow, to Gabriel.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what we do here on EGTV, we are not blaming the referees for the result. We are just going over the talking points of the game. So relax. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Everyone here is just going over the talking points. I don't think everybody here is saying we blame the referee for losing this game, but this is a talking point of the game that we have to discuss. Was this a blatant mistake? And did Arsenal get hard done by this mistake? Yes or no? Now, I know some of us might be saying yes. I personally think this was a game changer, similar to the situations in the past against Crystal Palace, where Saka clearly gets kicked in the back of the calf. Situation where against Leicester, where Aubameyang shit was through, and Johnny Evans didn't get a red card for taking him out. Similar incidents that have happened throughout this whole season. But hey, who am I to be a conspiracy theorist and say Arsenal get treated differently?
It's not even about Arsenal getting treated differently. It's just looking at the events and seeing whether you agree with them or not. It's not even about like there's an agenda or something. But this is just clear. There's two incidents here. One is a clear, I would say, yellow and a half, an orange, and another is a yellow.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a blatant question. Should he have been sent off?
Yes.
But after the 45 minutes, either the first incident where he stomped on Tierney or the second incident where he gave the people's elbow to Gabriel's neck. I'm going to start with you, what do you call it, Melina? What are you saying?
The thing is, the challenge on Gabriel, I would say yes. The elbow incident, I think that was the clear red, and I think it shows the inconsistent officiating with referees in the Premier League, which is probably why none of them or most of them don't make the Euros or World Cup competitions. And I think, possibly that would have been an advantage to us. Like we could have got a penalty from that, or we could have, scored from that. But one thing I will say is we have to stop using those kind of scenarios. And I know we can't take it away from us because that's a clear incident in the game, but we need to be better in our overall game rather than using those incidents and those issues to get goals from. Why can't we score from set pieces or from clear-cut chances like the 3 that we had overall in the game, rather than using incidents like this of inconsistent officiating? That's where I stand with this matter.
Okay, Jasmine, what about yourself?
I think the second was definitely a second yellow, so he should have been sent off. But my point is, even if he was sent off, I think we still would not have scored because they would have done the same thing. They would have parked the bus, which they did anyway. So, and when sometimes a team goes down to 10 men, it sometimes gets even more difficult to break them down. So I personally don't think it would have mattered anyway because we were putting in crosses, which didn't make sense to me. So yeah, he should have been sent off, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game.
Okay, safe. Denz, Corinne, I'm assuming you guys have the same take on it.
You're muted, mate.
You're on mute.
While we're talking on bad red cards, Iwobi has just been sent off for the most horrendous thing. So it is quite a coincidence for Nigeria.
For Nigeria.
Yeah, he's only just come on the field as well. So it's just quite a coincidence how we're talking about bad. Talking about bad refereeing, and that has just happened while we're talking about it. But both challenge are yellow card challenges, and one of them at least is a red card. So, but to be honest, I'm not surprised. We've seen bad refereeing all season, all day today. Chelsea and Tottenham, there was more controversial decisions there, so I've had enough of it, to be honest. But I agree with Jasmine. I don't think
the Saka one, man. The Saka one still pisses me off.
That's the worst one.
That's the worst one.
It's one we've seen our own player get sent off for. So it literally is just.
So I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna move on from there. If you guys would let's now do this game. It's going to be who was the best and who was the worst from today's performance, and try to pick different people from the person that somebody else picked before you. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to pick the non-obvious ones, right? So I'm going to say 2 people who are not obviously the best or the worst. So I'll leave some of the guys for you. I think a non-obvious one that was bad, in my opinion, was Bukayo Saka. A lot of people are going to probably go for Lacazette and other people, but I think Bukayo Saka could have done better in his at moments in this game, where especially that moment where he had the chance where it was just him and the defender. He had the ball on his right foot, but he went to his left to take the shot, and he went straight off the defender, bounced back, and that was the moment gone. Where I felt like if he was confident, went onto his right foot, shot it across the body because the defender was coming towards him from the left side, he would have had more time to get a shot off, and that could have been an opportunity. Also, whenever we were moving the ball forward and we're in the first half, it was almost like he was just trying to kick the ball in, cross it into the box when there's no one really there. Just hold it down, calm down, keep yourself under composure. He needs to calm down a little bit, because sometimes it's almost like he's trying to script his moves a little bit before they happen, and that's not a good thing to do. You don't do that in chess, so why would you do that in football? It just doesn't make sense. What? Okay. Anyways, going next, when it comes to the positives, obviously there's the good guys like Odegaard and everything else, but the only positive I would say is you look at this game and you can see the signs. You can see the signs, and the positive I would say is Mikel Arteta and the board are going to look at this and they're going to say to themselves, we're going to need help, and they're going to go out there and get those signings. That is one positive. I don't think this is going to be something that they're going to ignore. But yeah. Since I ended with you, Curran, on the last one, I'll let you go first on this one. What was your best? What was the best, or what's a good thing or bad thing you've noticed from this game?
So in terms of what you just mentioned about how they weren't ignored, I don't think they have been ignoring. I think just signings have just been very hard to get by in this window. We've seen the Melo stuff and we've seen the Vlahovic stuff, and it's obviously you can go into details about how complicated the transfers are with Juve wanting a replacement and then Vlahovic's agent, blah blah blah. But in terms of this specific game, if you look at what was bad was, I would say the lethargy in our build-up was quite poor. I feel like if we looked at how you want to analyze a game and you want to look at
what's that word? I've never heard that before. Lethargy,
so fatigue or how slow it was, and
I think it means like lethargic, right?
Yeah, lethargic.
Yeah,
okay. Exactly. That's lethargic is the adjective. Lethargy is the. But how slow and how we were trying to be too pretty at times in this game. It gave me vibes of a lack of directness in terms of going from that second to third phase, as well as the first to second phase. Basically, when we were building out the back, as well as trying to create that final action, that clear-cut chance, we were too slow. I think that comes from a physical deficit. I think that comes from players being played out of position, i.e. players like Laconga, Emil as well as players like Odegaard playing a bit deeper, which he does do well, but I would prefer to see him up higher and centrally. In terms of good things this game, I'm going to say, I know it's gonna be similar to your point. I feel like this game shows that Martinelli is not a left winger. And I think that this has to. He's not a left winger. He's just not. And I'll explain why. If you look at Martinelli, you look at his actions on the team sheet. He looks as a left winger, right? Everyone says, okay, he's on the left wing. But the thing is, if you look at how he goes in isolation, one-on-one dribbling, he's very, very good. But if you look at he dribbles with his head and his eyes on the floor. He doesn't have his head up. He's not able to form unless he's actually premeditating a cross. Then he looks up. But
just for the record, that is terrible for a striker, though.
No. That's literally the opposite. It's literally the opposite. If you look
but if we have a striker with his head down, it's going to be a Lacazette situation.
The point is when you have a striker dribbling with his head down, it's not when he's aware and he's looking out in terms of link up and these kinds of things. When you have a striker, it doesn't matter. They're looking to isolate one-on-one the defender, go past him and get a shot off. When you're looking for a playmaker, you need them to be creative. You need to have them with their eyes scanning all the time. And he's not a scanner. But when you look at players like, if you look at even players like Ruud van Nistelrooy, for example, they were always head down defenders. Ronaldo Phenomena was a head down defender. But the point I was trying to make is that he looked less effective the further out wide he got. When you had him in that channel and he was able to isolate between the fullback and the centre back, he was able to affect the game and try and get in and make runs behind. And that's what his role is. He's very good at, if you just pull up a heat map, guys. If you pull up, for example, if you pull up an Alexander Isak heat map and you pull up a Gabriel Martinelli heat map, they're literally identical. They're literally identical. In fact, Alexander Isak actually goes wider than Martinelli does, and he's meant to be like one of the strikers that our fans want. So it's more over where they are zonally than where they are in the formation. And Martinelli, if you have him central and you have him looking to affect games with poaching as well as your basically poaching goals and with his aerial ability as well, he's much better in the center.
Okay, so Corinne, so your 2 points were today we've seen that Gabriel is not a traditional.
Yeah, basically, he's not a traditional left winger. And the second thing was in terms of negative that we were too cautious in our build-up play and not actually pushing the game further up. We were too laid back and lethargic instead of being more active.
Who wanted to talk about Lacazette? Okay, take it away.
Why would you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen a good comment, and I think it's the first comment I've actually appreciated from that account, because I know they're quite negative. That Laca's role is not that one. It was the one above. No longer striker, he's a facilitator. So I completely agree. He's become something in this team now that we don't realistically need anymore. I know it sounds horrible, but he's no longer a striker. He's got more of an important role in helping out the midfield and sitting deep. And today that wasn't what we needed at all, because Burnley have got bricks for defenders. They're 6'3", they're strong. So realistically, he was the worst striker to be playing today. I think Eddie would have probably even been a better choice. And I'm saying that, and I'm speaking a lot of volumes because I don't want Eddie anywhere near our starting 11. But yeah, you know what? He's not one I'm going to call out because he's had a terrific, good last season for us. I think he's been instrumental, but in all the wrong reasons. You know, like he's been instrumental in a position where he shouldn't be. A striker needs to be instrumental for other things, scoring goals and doing what they do best up the top, you know, leaping and bounding and stuff like that. Whereas he has not. He's been a 10 sitting back and helping our midfield out when it's been weak, which has been multiple times. But yeah, I'm not going to be too harsh on him today because I don't think it was his fault. I think it is, again, down to the board and the fact that we haven't got the midfield to get things going forward.
I think, Melina, you said something. Lacazette is not it. So talk to me about that, because this is one of the talking points we're going to be talking about. We need to sign a striker, but Lacazette is definitely not the guy.
Yeah, I also agree with what Why Not was saying in the chat. I think kind of like what Pepe sometimes tends to be for us. I think Lacazette is a facilitator, and as much great as his hold-up play can be, when we need a goal-scoring opportunity and a goal scorer in front of goal, he wasn't it. And today he was just really awful, really bad apple in the bunch. And, you know, we keep talking about these top four hopes, and I think with Aubameyang being axed out of the squad and potentially not even reintegrating back into the squad with training, I don't know how that's going to go. Hopefully we give him another opportunity into our squad, or, you know, he ends up playing for us again. But at this point, we don't know. I would play Martinelli as a striker up front. I say, you know, try that option. Maybe that might work. We've done it before in the past, potentially. If we're not going to make any striker signings this transfer window, like a Dusan Vlahovic, like a Alexander Isak, or like a Jonathan David, my Canadian brother, then play someone like Martinelli up front. Take your chances and see how it works when you change the system. Take your chances when you can, before it's too late, where we know that ends up costing us not having experienced midfielders or not having a complete striker. And Lacazette, like I said earlier, as good as his hold-up play is, we need a complete package, and we need a complete striker who gives us goals, who gives us, you know, finishing going forward and ability to finish in the final third, not just hold-up play. We have Aubameyang, who gave the goal-scoring opportunities at the start of the season, and Lacazette with the hold-up play, but we never had a striker who could do both altogether. You're on mute, Miguel.
You are on mute.
Sorry. My wife is in the kitchen and I'm in the kitchen, so I just wanted to mute myself. Getting back to this, Jasmine, did you have a good point and a bad point that you want to talk about?
Firstly, Igal, you said that this is a good thing from today would be the board might think that, you know, we need some reinforcement, we need some players. So what I would say is, what if it's already too late? Because we are already out of the two cups now, And what if we miss out on top four by 2 points? The 2 points we lost today. My point is, we should have signed this midfielder at the start of the window. If other teams can tell us, like Juventus can tell us, that we're not going to let Arthur go until we sign a replacement. So why are we letting Ainsley Maitland-Niles go without signing a replacement? Or why can't we wait till the end of the window? So my point is, what if it's already too late? Like we have played the entire month without a midfielder.
How many games have we played in that point in that time though in the Premier League?
Not Premier League overall. We are out of the 2 cups. That's what I mean.
No, but you said
Yeah.
you were going to miss out on top four
Yeah.
by 2 points.
Like
So-
today,
I'm completely agree. I'm completely agreeing with what Karan's
I'm
saying
talking
because
about today. So like today we played without a midfielder. If we
Mhm.
had Arthur today, we could have, let's say, going 2 more points. And what if we miss out on top four by 2 points? That's my point is. So even if they bring a midfielder, like yes, it's helpful for the squad, but like for me, it might be too late already because once Xhaka and Partey comes, Arthur might be sitting on the bench regardless. Even though it's good for the squad, I know that, but they should have acted upon this like a few days ago rather than after all the games are already being played in January. So that's one point.
Do you mind if I want you to respond, Gal?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So basically, my whole thing is we've played 2 games in January in the Premier League, correct?
one before today. but
One
yeah.
before today, right? So Man City. So the issue is we should have got a player in, and I agree we should have got a player in. But the fact is that not getting a player in has cost us 2 points, and that's fine. If that is the margin that we lose by, I'm with you 100%. That is the moment where you go, Edu, this was on you. You should have got that midfielder in. That was on you. We could have won that game at Burnley. But the fact is, we're what, 21 games in, and we are 2 points off the top 4 now. So I know it's not. We should have been. It's not. It wasn't a good performance today. I said I was fuming myself today, and it wasn't a good performance at all. But the fact that the matter is we're not out of it. We're not even close to being out of it. There's so many games to play, and we've only lost one. We're not even lost. We drew a game, and we have 2 of our main midfielders coming back next game after a 3-week break. Neither of them are going on international break, as well as all of our players being refreshed. Even Tomiyasu, who's meant to go on international duty, isn't going because of his calf injury. So there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of sort of a tunnel vision because of this game, and I understand that because emotions are high. But to say that we've lost top 4 and everything is done already, it's a bit sort of like I don't agree with that at all.
Safe. Now that we got everybody here, there's 6 of us. Here's the controversial topic that everybody brings back, and it's starting to get jarring. And a lot of us here might not agree with each other. Some of us might be Arteta out, some of us might be Arteta, and some of us might be, you know what, we don't care. The club is our priority, and we want us just ourselves to do well. So big up Robin Shin saying, share this stream, smash the likes for the legend gas machine Iga. Yeah, listen, I was on his case when they were facing Aston Villa the other week, and I was on their case saying Manchester United is going to lose. They ended up beating them, and we lost to Norwich. So it's like these guys are on my case. Big up to Ravi. Okay, so let me bring it back. Arteta out is trending. Thoughts on the fact that Arteta out is trending after this loss? Because I don't feel like Mikel Arteta is solely to blame for this loss. I think the players hold a heavy weight on this loss. I think the players did not do him justice because he set them up. He can only take them to the water. If they don't drink it, it's not his fault. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But the only thing that I can hold him accountable for is not setting up properly for not setting us up properly for this tough period that we're going through. Because we've gone through this tough period. It's already happened. This game alone, if you're going to look at it, you cannot say it's all on Arteta. Maybe partial blame, but not all on Arteta, where some people are going. But Nitish is here. Nitish is joining us. Nitish, where do you stand with that? Nitish, you're on mute.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was just checking Twitter. The thing that is trending next to Arteta out is mental age test. So I think both should coincide because the people who are going Arteta out after this Burnley draw, I mean, I don't know what to say. They are like dipsy, you can say on one side, wobbly when Arsenal starts you can say dropping points, maybe dropping 1 point or 3 points. Then they come out of their so-called holes, and then they start doing Twitter Spaces and YouTube videos, and they start making fun of the team. But while Arsenal is playing well, they all go quiet, and then they say, okay, maybe Arsenal is improving and progressing. And today is one of those days where I enjoyed the performance. We dominated them in every part of the field. But the only problem is, again, no goals, which is not solely down to the manager, because I also tweeted out, what will the manager do? Can he carry the ball into the goal and just drop it there? No, he can't do that. So the overall thing is that the players can't finish. You can't blame the players because you say they are kids when you don't want to blame them, but they are first team players. When they perform and you want to compare them to other clubs top players, you say they are first team players, but when they don't score, they don't perform, they're kids. So it is that kind of a situation, and overall I enjoyed the performance, but we needed to score goals. We didn't. Top 4 not over yet. I think this is just a thing that we have every season. Like Burnley is, for some reason, that curse that Arsenal has in recent years, and it's continued in that sense.
It's not recent years. It's literally just last year.
We lost both games last year.
We didn't lose both games. We drew one.
Was it drew one? I don't know. We lost away and we drew at home, I think.
Yeah.
Or was it the way around? I'm not sure.
Yeah. We drew. Which one was it? Let me show you.
We lost at home. Aubameyang own goal.
Yeah, Aubameyang own goal. Thank you.
And then we drew to them
because of Shaka.
Yeah.
It was because of Shaka where
one
was a card.
It was a set piece, and then Aubameyang.
The second one, the first game, Shaka got a red card.
Correct.
Second game, Shaka basically gave them the goal. So this game,
playing out the back, wasn't it?
This game, Xhaka wasn't playing for them, so we were a little bit luckier. Go ahead, guys. I want to hear everybody's takes on this. Arteta in or Arteta out? It's honestly it's charming at this point. So let's just take it from a different perspective. Is Arteta at fault for today's game? And do you understand the logic where some people would blame him for this game? Anybody think Arteta's at fault for today's game?
Partially, yeah. I mean,
but then you can say partially to a very big degree. Like, you're always going to put some blame to the manager because he has an impact. For me, this is typical Arsenal fan base. What I do when Arsenal lose or draw, I tweet what I feel and then I bugger off because I know what's going to happen. I feel like it's because they know it will cause an attention. I feel like the people that do these hashtag Arteta out spaces, the tweets, they know it's going to attract a crowd. But I don't feel like 90% of the people actually believe Arteta's at fault because I don't think enough people in the world are deluded enough. You know, like you can see that we've got a good enough squad to be. The same thing happened against Nottingham Forest. Arteta out was the first thing trending. We had a good enough squad. What do you expect him to do? Go out and score? People just do it rationally. They don't even consider. And I agree. I was almost agreeing with a lot of what Natasha was saying until he said that until he said that we dominated the performance and he enjoyed the game. That's where I didn't agree.
I didn't
agree. I didn't agree with that, but I was agreeing with quite a lot of what was on his mind in terms of, you know, we don't blame the players because they're young, but it's the players we've got. You use the nuts and bolts you've got at the table. But yeah, I don't like the way our fan base works or any other rival fan, to be honest. All they do is go at Arteta and say he's not good enough. The players are good enough. Look, they've got to be held accountable. As much as I like Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, we can talk about Arteta to the cows come home. He's not going to go anywhere. And yeah, the players are at fault today, and the board massively for allowing us to be in this position where we're having to play a 4-1-4-1 with a pivot of a player that is not even meant to be a first team option. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, if you think it's Arteta that's the problem, then fair enough. But you're not going to be happy for the rest of your lives because this problem will continue until the stuff on the field is improved. We'll see.
This is what happens. United fans help join into the Arteta out hashtag.
What I'm going to say is, I'm going to be very, very brief with this. It's very interesting that we have this. I always find this Arteta in-out debate very fascinating because it's not even about Mikel half the time. The issues that they say is not even about Mikel. My whole thing is, do you think Arsenal are going in the right direction right now? Yes or no? If it's yes, then cool. If it's not, then explain what it is. Not everything is the manager. He doesn't have insane power that he's the all over emperor of the club and everything is on him. He has
What about the
issues.
inconsistencies? Do you blame him for the inconsistencies?
On which?
Okay, so I'll give you guys some talking points. I just want to know everyone here can respond. Arteta, do you blame him for the inconsistencies in his team, or do you blame it on the youth?
Like it's not one or the other. It's both. You can't just say it's one or the other.
And in fact, it's the board as well. You can't not blame the board.
The
because
board
we
as
have,
well.
we have no other options.
Because
We
I
should
think
have-
I think a lot of it comes down to the board more than the
Yeah.
manager. But I think
You-
a lot of it is hand in hand.
I like this.
Like what
Open
Corinne said.
discussion, guys.
because
I will also say just quickly that a lot of our contract situations over the past 5 years have led us to this situation where we've overplayed players, we've given contracts to players that just weren't worth it, and we've ended up having to terminate and do a lot of things with players that just aren't good enough for the club or are contributing to a toxic nature at the club.
Okay. What about this? What about this? How about the contract offer from the news that came out about the contract offer helped fuel the fire of people being upset today? Do you agree?
No. I think it's just a case of the fact the fans will always blame the manager. All you had to do today was look at.
Listen to this.
It's just another talking point.
Listen to this again. Today, immediately after we drew, look at Arsenal standards. We're looking to give this guy a new contract. But
that's media for you. That's media. That's what they want.
That's our fans for you.
That's not media. That's fans.
That's our fans.
And fans. Yeah.
Yeah,
but media have an agenda with Arsenal. They leaked out some stupid Arteta contract. The day after or the night of a defeat to Liverpool. It's ridiculous. Like that never happened. We all know that's probably garbage. Yeah, okay. There's probably talks of Arteta, but so what? Water is wet.
I'll tell you what happened. Right. There's probably been talks for a while about because it's the last 18 months of his contract. So there's probably been talks about a new contract for a while. But today was the day. That day was the day they decided to release it because they knew it would get the most reaction from the fan base.
Okay, Jasmine, go ahead. You're going to say something?
Yeah, I was saying regarding the youth. Someone was talking about the youth. So they, like the board and Mikel themselves, chose the youth project, right? So now they cannot come back and say we are not winning the games because we have youngsters. Because then the fans are going to say, hey, you are the ones who chose this youth project. So that was my point. So we can't right now turn around and say we have young players playing in our team, and that's the reason we're not winning those games. That's not.
I don't think anyone's saying that it's okay that we don't win these games. I think that's the key point. I don't think anyone's being like, oh, cool, everything.
I think that was more to do with what Nitesh said, wasn't it? Because Nitesh said that fans are not blaming the players because they're young, which I completely agree with.
The fans are saying.
It's not to do with the board. It's the fact that the fans are not blaming them.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I blame today's loss, draw. That feels like a loss.
Yeah, it's a loss.
On Lacazette's poor finishing, and not solely on Lacazette's poor finishing, but the whole front attack being disjointed. I blame it on them not finishing this game for us, because realistically, you can only take an animal to water. If it doesn't drink it and it starves or dies from thirst, it's its own fault, because you've done everything you need to do at that point. You can't force feed them, or you can't force them to get goals. Like they have to score the goals. All you can do is set them up tactically.
But this is what I mean. Gal, this comment is exactly what we're talking about right now. We're talking about our look at this sort of Arteta. He's criticizing Arteta and he's going on about Saka's contract. Saka was one of the worst players today. This is the one day where I actually will not give him credit. Yeah, okay, he might be tired. He's
tired.
Yeah,
an energetic Saka would never be doing. He looked like Pepe today. So
okay,
that's
I mean, he didn't look like Pepe. Let's not go crazy. But all I'm gonna say right now is just give me a second ago. The only thing that matters right now is we lost 2 points. I don't really see the point of going, okay, my guy did well, or this guy did bad, or we did it because of this. Analyze what happened on the pitch and say this is what happened. This is why we didn't win that game, and this is how. Oh, it's your fault. Oh, it's this guy's fault. Oh, it's that guy's fault. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't. The only thing it should do for you is say, look, maybe we shouldn't be offering Lacazette a new contract, or maybe we shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's not about blame. Blame is what creates that toxic culture. It's all about what did we not do good enough, and how as a team we should be improving. That's the main thing.
Okay, so guys, this is the player rating section of the video. We're gonna get straight into it. The way I'm gonna do it is I'm going to ask who wants to rate this player, or actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go. This is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go first, then I'm gonna go Corinne. We're just gonna go in order of how we are set up. So, and if you have a rating, you rate that player, and after you rate that player, if somebody disagrees, they can interject. And the way we're gonna do this is the way we rate players on my channel, at least, is if we have a terrible loss or a draw, sometimes we get emotional and we do rate the players a little bit more harshly. Sometimes we don't. So today, let's try, since it is a very emotional game, let's try our best to not give anybody like too high, because the way it works is average performances would be today probably a 4. Anything on normal channels would be what, a 5. So I just a little bit lower, and I don't give out 10s for anybody. Even if they score a hat trick, they have to like blow you away to get a 10. So it's like, just understand that. Now, first things first, Ramsdale today, I thought Ramsdale was very, very hot and cold. He was on point at points. Other points he wasn't that well. I think it was a below average performance for him, but usually he's always a 7 or 6 out of 10. Today I'm going to give him a 5. Anyone disagree with that?
I mean, the one thing I would say about Ramsdale is when you don't have a coherent build-up structure in front of him, it's very hard to play out of the back. And so he did look a lot worse than he actually was. He made his saves. He kept a clean sheet. So I think it's a bit harsh, but it's your rating. So if you want to,
the reason why I'm giving him a 5 is because I do hear you that maybe I should give him higher, but understand that Curran, I've had average performances get 3s before. So
okay, fair. It's nice to know your scale. Then that makes sense. Then.
Yeah, so I've given average performances a 3.
Gal, what's the highest we're giving today? Sorry, a 5.
No, so you can give like, if you thought someone was man of the match, the highest they could probably get is a 7.
I would give Ramsdale a 4 then, because he almost cost us a goal personally. But I'm not even trying to open a can of worms. But he genuinely should have cost us a goal. So giving him a 5. If the highest is a 7, I think it's high. But you know,
Dens, was that the one that Holding kicked away?
Yeah,
the chance.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Let me give you an example. If everybody here is in agreement who the man of the match is, on Arsenal side, I think it would be Odegaard. Do you guys agree?
I could see it.
I think
I'd say
I'd
say Tierney. I thought Tierney was good. We just had no one in the middle.
I would. It would be between
Smith
Odegaard
was
and
good
Martinelli
too.
for me. It probably probably Odegaard and Martinelli for me. I
Okay,
think
so
probably
just
Odegaard.
to let you guys know, Arsblog gave a 5.5. So seemed like he said we were a little bit harsh, and the average for fans gave 6. Now moving on to Ben White. Curran, what do you give him Ben White?
Maybe a 5.5. I don't think he did anything wrong.
Did you think he was better than Ramsdale?
I think he was. I mean, he was one of the guys that he was playing very, very nice switch balls over to Martinelli. His passing was on point. He didn't lose his duels again. He didn't lose his duels or was beat 1-on-1. I would say 5.5. I think is fair. I think, especially for the way he was finding Martinelli, especially in that second half when we were getting going, Emil in the second half. So
out of Ben White and Gabriel today, who do you think was worse?
He was playing right back.
Yeah, he was playing right back. He wasn't playing centre back, so it's a weird comparison. But
okay, sorry about that.
Maybe Ben White was probably a little bit better, but the different roles. It's different roles.
My point is, people are always quick to judge Ben White, but
it's Saliba basically. People want to find someone to put out for Saliba, and I get it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, so we keep it moving. So that's 5.5 for him. Now moving on to Rob Holding. What are we giving Rob Holding, guys? I'm gonna go to you, Jasmine.
I would probably say a 6 because he was slightly better than Ben White, because I think he dealt with the headers pretty fine in the box. So I think 6. I would go for 6. Yeah.
6. Guys, as you can tell, this is a pre what do you call it, hair transplant, Rob Holding. Moving on to the next one, or is that actually after the hair transplant? You can see it.
It's after.
Did Holding get a better rating than White?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a bit weird, but it is
interesting.
What it is.
White was up against the best player for Burnley today, and I thought he did quite well. But we moved.
And not only that is that he was the one finding our most effective outlet consistently, crossing the.
White was out of position, and he's up against Dwight McNeil. So to me, I think White is probably the best defender out of the 4. But yeah, it's up to you, look.
There you go.
Well, considering he played out of his normal position.
Out of position, and he's up against Dwight McNeil. Dwight McNeil's literally the best player on the field for Burnley.
That's Jasmeet's rating, guys. Jasmeet gave that rating. Gabrielle, it goes to you. What do you call it? Den, what are you saying?
It's a tough one for me. I think we've given Holding if we've given Holding a 6, I don't think Gabriel played any worse than Holding, so I'm probably going to give him the same. But I think Holding's was high, so it depends on consistency. For me, realistically, Holding gets a 5. Gabriel gets a 5 because I don't think he had too much work to do today. We were in dominating possession, but we just couldn't beat their defense. But yeah, I'll level it with Holdings. I'll match Rob Holding.
Let's just say we made a mistake giving Rob Holding a 6.
Okay. I'll give him a 5 for me. I don't think he did anything special, but he didn't have too much work to do.
Okay, there you go. Then we go next. Nitish, what are you giving Kieran Tierney?
I wouldn't give him anything more than a 5.5. One of the problems that was seen again today is I don't understand why were Arsenal crossing the balls into the box. With our players who don't jump, with our strikers, or you can say forwards, who like to play the ball on the ground, Tierney was one of the guys who was putting everything in the air into the box, which was like piece of cake for the Burnley defenders to just head it out. So I think it is part of his game that he plays those kind of crosses. There were some link-ups that I liked, so maybe not more than a 5.5.
There you go. 5.5. Do you guys think that's harsh? Because he was one of someone here said he was their man of the match.
Yeah, I thought he played good. I think it isn't his problem that there's no one in the middle. So for me, if Holding's got a 6, I know we said that. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Tierney's a 6 for me. I think bar Odegaard and Martinelli, I think he was up there.
Okay.
Smith Rowe and Martinelli, sorry. Smith Rowe and Martinelli.
5.5, is that cool, Nitish?
Yeah, I said 5.5.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, we'll do.
Keep it moving. Laconga, what are you saying, Melina?
I know he's a very young player and he's inexperienced because of his age and not enough, experience in the Prem. I'm giving him a 2. I think he was tidy enough just for the
Jesus,
bit. I don't know. I don't want to be so generous, but all right, I'll bump it up to a 4 just because he's so young. But honestly, I don't think it was his worst game. I don't think it was his worst game, but I still think that he wasn't as available as we needed him to be. And I still think like he was really a shadow on the pitch today. I didn't feel he offered much.
Nah, Melina, you're being harsh. You're being so harsh.
I think he has a lot.
Melina, he was our build-up starter.
He was our build-up starter. Yes, I'll give him credit for that, but I still think we need to see a lot more from him. And I know he's young, but I really think he wasn't all that great on the pitch.
He played the worst back pass of the century.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the worst.
That I'll give you, but I think a 4 is as harsh. But
I'll tell you guys something. If this was the panel that did the last match reaction, he would have got a 1 or something. But right now, we're rating it a little bit more generous than normal. So 4, you're saying?
This is generous.
Because he's really young, so I would have stuck to my original answer of a 2. So
Corinne, I'll tell you this right now. I've had a panel before where everyone's gotten 2s.
Jeez.
For me, the way I see it, we didn't lose the game. We didn't lose the game, and he was on his own in a pivot, which he shouldn't be used to, and he shouldn't have to deal with. So, if we're going to give Rob Holding a 6, who made 1 or 2 mistakes in the first 20 minutes, I don't know how we can give this guy.
No, you know what it is. It is for me is The fact is that if you're looking for someone who was available in the final third, who was available to pick up the ball, available to switch play, he was there. He wasn't like he was a passenger.
Was
The only
he?
time that he was worried
But
about him
Curran, he
was in the
looked
build-up.
afraid on the ball. He looked like he was so raw on and off the ball.
But did he move the ball efficiently? Did he hit his passes?
Yes,
One
he
second.
did.
Yes, he did, and that's the
He did
point.
the
It doesn't matter how if he looks nervous on the ball, but the fact is he hit his
Okay.
passes.
Okay,
That
one second.
effectiveness.
Everybody here, Laconga, she gave him a 4. Do you agree or disagree with the 4?
I prefer not to speak. I'm good on this one. I think four is a bit harsh in my liking, but I can accept it. It's better than a 2.
What you're asking me, Ago, is if he was the worst player in the field, and I don't think he was by a long way. No, because at the moment we've gone through half the squad, and no one else has gone below 5.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're asking if he was one of the worst on the field.
No, but I think the reason is right now we are only went for defenders and we kept a clean
No,
sheet.
but 2 of the best players for us today were attackers. So that's why I'm saying at the moment you're asking if
worst player is going to be Lacazette, definitely. So he's not. Sambi is not going to be the worst player.
Yeah.
No, but it'll be second or third because Smith Rowe and Martinelli were good.
Saka's also down there today.
I think for me, I think he's no worse than the defense were personally. So
okay, so I'm hearing that it's harsh, but everyone seems to say Molina's rating's fine. 4 it is. Moving on to Odegaard, I'm just gonna say he was my man of the match. I'm thinking 6 is since you guys gave a 6 to who was it?
Holding.
Ben.
Holding's the man of the man. No, I gave Ben White 5.5.
Since you gave 6 Holding, I'm going 6.5 to Odegaard. I think he was the man of the match. I think he was the best player on the pitch, and I think he was definitely one of the main cogs holding things together. No pun intended. He also almost scored a goal. If it wasn't for a goal line clearance, that would have been 1-0 to the Arsenal, and we would have got out of there with a win. But yeah, I'm going 6.5 for Odegaard. What are you guys saying?
I want to see Odegaard do what Hakim Ziyech did today against Spurs. I want to see him taking those long shots because he has the passing range. He has the ability to take free kicks and stuff. I definitely feel he can take a few long shots at least once or twice in the game. It wouldn't be as bad as Thomas Partey probably.
There you go. So some of you guys are saying yes. 6.5 is fair. Everybody agrees?
Fine by me.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then next, the way we're going to do this, since we're running out of players, we're going to share the duties for the rest of the way. Smith Rowe, Curran, and Melina. What are you guys saying? I'll let Melina go first. What do you saying?
You go first, Melina.
I think Smith Rowe was good today. I would have even argued that he, in that second half, he really tried to up the gears a bit when we needed him to. And he was one of the few players who actually tried today until he was subbed off for Eddie Nketiah. He really tried to make chances, and unfortunately, it was the striker and our forwards who couldn't finish them off. But I did feel like he made a good impact in the game. He made great direct passes and tried to get chances through on goal. I'm going to give him a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. What about yourself, Curran?
That is pretty much exactly what I was going to say. I think he gassed towards the end of that section. He was really giving it his all that second half, and he quite clearly gassed off just maybe like a minute or two, and I think Mikel saw it and took him off because he was cooking. And I see a lot of people on the timeline going, "Oh, but he was cooking. Why did he take him off?" We need him. We need the guy, and I would rather him be available properly for the second half of the season than just actually injuring him now. So, yeah, 6.5. I think that's fair.
6.5. Just so we're clear, 6.5 would be tied for man of the match.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't agree with it. He was invisible in the first half. He doesn't know what to do when Martinelli and Saka are running on the flanks because he likes to do that. And in the second half, they got him involved. So I think 6.5 is too high. Maybe 5.5.
Okay. Melina and Curran, would you be okay to drop him down to a 6?
6 I can do.
6 is fine.
Okay. There we go. So 6 it is. Now moving on to the next player. The next player is going to be Bukayo Saka, and I'm going to give that to Den and and Jasmeet. So Jasmeet, go first. What are you saying?
I wouldn't give him more than a 4 because he was below average. I think he should have scored as well, and I think sometimes he was taking too long to shoot. Because there was a scenario where he was literally 1-on-1 and he took a long time to shoot, and then by the time he shot, there were already 3 defenders. So I wouldn't give him more than a 4.
I can't believe man gave Odegaard a 4. Anyways, continue. Den, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'll just echo what Jasmeet said. It was probably his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt today. Usually he's one of the guys that, he's a bit of a blinding light at the end of the tunnel. But he wasn't today. Yeah, for me, considering 4 has been the lowest so far at the moment, it's got to be matched with that. Didn't turn up, and that chance, he's got to be putting that away.
Okay, moving on to just before we give the rating, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. For Bukayo Saka to have such a poor game and for you guys to give him a 4, I think you guys are being very nice to him. Honestly, I think if I had a different panel, maybe it would be a lot harsher. But I think a 4 is saying he was just below average. He was below his normal best. And
yeah, but for me, we're keeping consistency because we gave Sambi a 4, and Sambi was he's not great, but
I think he was worse than Sambi. So I'm saying maybe knock it down to half.
Are we going off what we expect of them now or what they did? That's the problem. That's the question there, because we probably maybe expect a lot of things, but he didn't really have much to do either. Like, he was bad when he had the ball, but did he have it often?
No, I thought he would be taken off.
My point is, was he better or worse than Lokonga? Based on the 2 games, would you say to rate them the same rating? Would that be fair?
In that case, Saka's got to be a 3.
Okay. So would it be fair on Lokonga to rate him the same level as Saka?
But I disagreed with Lokonga anyway. I thought Lokonga should have been higher. So
I also agree that Saka was worse than Lokonga, so I don't mind changing the Lokonga rating to a bit higher. So I would change Lokonga to a 5.
Or worst case, give Saka a 3 then. Just give Saka a 3 to make it easy.
Keep it moving with Saka to 3. Martinelli, I'm going to go 1 second. Who's here? Okay, so Nitish, go ahead. Martinelli, what are you saying?
I think he was very influential right throughout the game. He was the guy running around, and that is something that he does. But I still have one issue with him. He always takes the ball to the corners. He doesn't come central enough. He has the finishing ability. He can do that all day long. He should come central and take the chances that he creates. So overall rating, maybe a 5.5.
He okay. I'm gonna go to you, Corinne, for this one. Gabriel Martinelli, what are you saying?
So what did we give Odegaard?
We gave Odegaard a 6.5.
But we bumped it down to 6, didn't we?
No, we bumped Emil Smith-Rowe down.
Let's throw it down to 6. Okay, sorry, thank you. I would give him a 6 then. I think he did well in terms of his directness. He did struggle in terms of when he was pushed out too wide and was trying to affect the game to going isolating against their fullback and trying to stay touchline. But he was very good when he was brought in a bit inside and going one-on-one with players. He did hit a few shots. He did try to get a few chances off. But I wouldn't say he was great. I don't think he was better than Odegaard. I think it was if and maybe with the 2 of them. So 6 would be, I think, a fair rating.
There you go. So 6. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, he was one of the best of a bad bunch today. So yeah.
Nitish, you gave a 6 also?
5.56. That's fine.
Okay. 5.56 for Martinelli. Lacazette, everyone's going to get a chance to rate Lacazette, guys.
I don't even want to speak on him. It's just
to be fair, I'm not giving Eddie Nketiah even a rating. I personally just didn't keep it simple. I don't think he played long enough to give him a proper rating. Martinelli, we gave him a 6, and Lacazette is the final rating of the day. He has to be the most frustrating player on the pitch today. How you don't hit the target as the most experienced player on the pitch makes no sense. And one of the chances, the goalkeeper was on the floor looking at the goal like what you would be if that's any other player. You're watching the ball roll into the net. Even Timo Werner would have finished that, I think.
It was difficult to miss the goal from there rather than to score the goal.
So Jasmine, what do you give Lacazette?
I'd give him just a 1. Like he literally cost us 2 points today. Like, how can you miss an open goal? Like, I'm telling you, if 6 of us were there, we could have scored. I'm pretty sure it was an open goal.
Okay, Melina.
To be honest, I disagree with Jasmine, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd give him just a 2. I think he worked hard in the first half, trying to, take those chances that he was given, whether it was by Smith Rowe or by Odegaard. I just felt like it was horrible day at the office for him, and we're very much struggling in finishing in the final third, and we don't have that cutting edge. Lacazette is not that cutting edge striker that we need. And like we said earlier, and why not said in the chat, he's a facilitator, not a striker anymore. He's just the type of guy to do the business, holding up play, being a good influence in terms of the youth in our squad. And I think that's about it. He no longer cuts it in terms of finishing chances, easy chances in front of goal. But I will give him a 2 because he didn't give up until the final whistle. Although it was a crap day at office for him, he did try in terms of hold up play. And, tried to finish those chances, but it just didn't work out for him. He was the worst player on the pitch by far, so I'm not going to say that's unnoticed, but he did work hard. So I think 1 or 1.5 is a bit too harsh.
Isn't working hard should be the absolute minimum of each and every professional player? Like that, like we can't say a player works hard. Like everyone is expected to work hard, right?
Okay.
Everyone is expected to work hard for sure, and then we have players in our squad who are starting over players who don't even want to be here, like Eddie Nketiah coming on as a substitution. Yes, he didn't play for a long time for us to rate him, but we have those kind of players who don't even want to be here, who rejected a contract twice. We're playing him over someone like Tavares.
Yeah, I never agree with Eddie coming on because the guy doesn't want to be here. I don't know why he keeps on. And he keeps on saying that he's really good in the training. Like that.
I think a 1. I just feel like a 1 is very harsh. Again, I know it feels like a loss, but it was a draw. I don't think a lot of people remember that it was a draw. It wasn't a defeat, although it feels like it to me. So yes, he costed us the goal scoring opportunities that we had, but I don't think he was a 1 in my personal opinion.
Okay. Let me go to Den. Den, what are you saying?
This is a tough one for me. On my channel all season, I've literally bigged up this guy, and today he just had a very, very bad performance. But I agree with Melina. If we're gonna really slander him because he missed an open goal, Saka's opportunity was almost just as easy as an open goal for me, and he made just as bad of it. So I think a 1's harsh, but I'd go with a 2 based on the fact. But I don't blame him. I'm gonna go back to the fact that I don't blame him. It's the fact that he's running out his contract at the club. We're using him more than we should be. Aubameyang's not there. The board haven't brought another striker in. He's probably tired. He's the oldest player on the field by a distance, and he's being used consistently. So you know what? Props to him where it needs to be. But yeah, bad day at the office. I'll give him a 2.
Nitish?
Yeah, again, a few weeks ago, Lacazette wasn't playing beyond 60 minutes. Now he's playing almost 90 every game. So that is all because of the situation at the club. He's not a 90-minute player. I don't think he's been a 90-minute player for the last, since he has joined the club. So if that wasn't the case and the situation with Arsenal, I think Lacazette wouldn't be playing the entire 90. Yes, his miss is bad, and there is no defending that. But 1-2, it's the same. He didn't get the goal and he messed up.
Okay. Just before we finish up on the Lacazette thing, interesting question here. I definitely do think Lacazette is worse than Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud was a different type of player to Lacazette, but Olivier Giroud would be better suited to the type of play that we play currently with his link-up play, in my opinion. Karen, what is your rating for Lacazette?
I mean, it's hard. I'm going between 1.5 and 2, just on the scale we've been, we've given.
Yeah.
I would say 2. The only thing I wouldn't put a 1.5 on him. The thing is, if you miss an open goal, it's obviously a horrible moment for any striker. But the fact is that I don't think anyone mentioned that shot he took first time, when it went over the top and he tried to hit it first time. There was no need to take that first time and try to put it in the box. You could have just taken a touch and crossed it and just hit it back. I feel like there are, to say that anyone is a 1 to me means that you have to actively do something that has caused us to lose a game or lose just lose a game. You have to do something insane, like like David Luiz versus Man City, like that sort of thing. Xhaka versus Burnley, these kinds of, that's a 1 to me. A 2 is like, you played bad, but you're not quite like 100%. Like, I blame you for this loss. This loss is on you. So I think a 2. I think 2 is fair.
Okay, so guys, Lacazette gets a 2. That's a fair result between everything, because I think I was going to give him a 2 also. And he's the worst player on the pitch for us, based on the fact that he missed two chances where he at least get the shot on target. Like, remember when we first got him against Chelsea, near post, bang, Lacazette's just near post every time. Whenever and his footwork was amazing, and he'd be able to get out of close cut corner situations and just get it into near post between a goalkeeper. But now it's like, maybe he just lost a step, or maybe he's just not the same guy, or maybe he's not fully as invested as he used to be. But right now, I appreciate everyone for coming on. Dens, we got Jasmine, we got my guy Karan, we got Natish and Melina. Everyone, take a couple seconds, shout out your social medias. I know you got your channel, Karan, so you want to go first?
Yeah, so you can find me at CurrentBOP on Twitter. You can also find us at Ball Over Passion on YouTube. Follow us at BOP Footy on Twitter. That's the main thing from us. We're very close to 1K, so do try and sub if you can.
There you go. I just put the link to Ball Over the Passion in the chat. Jasmine, do you have anything that you want to plug?
No, just Jasmine_Leo on Twitter. That's it.
There you go. Natish?
Yeah, you could just follow me on Twitter on Beyond the Post, around 7K followers now, maybe, and on Arsenal FC Fans on Facebook, 385K.
There you go. Melina?
Thank you for having me on the panel, Igel. Always a pleasure to be on here. If you guys want to check out my Twitter, it's Miss Melina7, and my YouTube channel is just Miss Melina. So check it out if you like.
There you go. And I'm going to put the link to that in a second. Also, do you, Dens, you want to plug this?
Yeah, I'm just on Rivalry Aside TV doing some Arsenal content. There's a very special guest coming soon, so make sure you come and follow. But yeah, I can't say too much at the moment. At Den_AFC on Twitter. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure, mate.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, keep your cards close, because you know what? If you ever have a special guest, someone might try to take them.
Yeah, I'm not saying too much, but it's come through today. It'll be good.
There you go. And you guys already know what it is, Kitty G on EGTV. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been the match reaction for Burnley, Arsenal Burnley. And you know what? Our next game is not until February 10th. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about Arsenal. We're going to talk about the transfers. Hopefully we sign a player. And the next time we're on, maybe we're smiling because we've signed either Vlahovic or Arthur on loan or somebody. Anyways, have a good one, guys. I just put the link to the 3 channels. Ball Over Passions right there, Molina's channel's right there, and you got Rivalry Aside right there. Give them a follow and have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. We're out. Peace.